Online. Let me just make sure Rumble is on. If Rumble ain't on, Rumble trying to play with me. Okay, Rumble is on. Rumble is on. I know some people are upset that Rumble didn't go on yesterday. I don't know why it didn't. All right. Okay. It's looking good. Shout out to everybody on the Twitch. I see y'all, man. I see y'all. Help out a fellow chat nigga if you can. Throw a sub their way if they like watching on Twitch that they could avoid any ads or whatever. And if you're on obviously YouTube, I appreciate y'all if y'all do throw in a membership in there. All right. How y'all feeling? It's like tumbleweeds out there, huh? Woke up this morning, stretched, got up, my dog's out, brushed my teeth. I'm gapping. No, I didn't. I brushed my teeth yet. I grabbed my phone. I was like, who brushes their teeth for looking at their phone? Look at my phone. I scrolled up, kept scrolling up, scrolled up a couple more times. It wasn't shit to scroll about. I was like, yo, this O Block right here? I looked at all of the other media pages. I was like, yo, what the is this O Block right here? Yo, I should call this shit No Block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at? That's exactly how I was, yo. That's exactly how I was. This was me this morning. I kid you not. That's a fact.
This what y'all wanted me in Chicago.
Yeah.
O Block right here. This what y'all wanted me in Chicago. This O Block right here.
Birds chirping and everything.
I should call this shit No Block. It's 10 o'clock. Where the fuck y'all niggas at?
Looked on the timeline. You should call this shit No Block. This should have been the quietest it's ever been.
Niggas ain't outside. It's only 10 p.m. Where the fuck y'all niggas at, blood? O Block right here.
Anyway, welcome, y'all. I ain't streaming on Twitter today, but I'll tweet out the link that the Twitter nigga. This shit was. So many people were hate watching us yesterday on Twitter. But the good thing about Twitter, they only get to watch. They can't comment. Okay, if you want to comment, you got to get to YouTube or Twitch. But I'm gonna be honest with you. That's one of my biggest Twitter streams ever. Like, I premiered a song during the Drake beef, and I got like 2 million views on the Twitter live. This is during the Drake and Kendrick beef. Yesterday, nigga, look, how much views we have? 3.4 million. And really, I only believe we got that because nobody else would touch it. Pause. No Diddy, no Jay, no Jigga, whatever. But this is like one of the biggest Twitter streams that we've ever gotten. Elon, we going to talk some business, man. We going to talk some business, my boy. Anyway. Okay, I just tweeted that out. Yeah, I'm not going live on Twitter today. I only like it for breaking. Really, I like it for like rap battles and shit like that. But maybe breaking news days, I'll have to go live on that platform. We're back to our regular platforms, so we're on live on 2 YouTube channels, Twitch, Rumble, and also 2 of our Facebook fan pages, which that be having like 100 people watching there. But who cares? All right. So there's some updates, obviously, in the topic that nobody wants to discuss. I've already predicted that this topic going to be out of here by, I really think tomorrow. Might be stretched if we say Thursday. As I predicted, the media that did talk about it, they're talking about everything but the allegations. They're talking about, well, Jay Z is going to end. It's crazy because the same people who I was hearing, like I ain't gonna lie, I was listening to the Breakfast Club this morning, and they were championing Jay Z being successful and ending fake allegations. And I was like, this ain't the same Breakfast Club I was listening to like 6 months ago that said, believe all victims, right? Oh, hell no. Nah. So now, fuck the victims. And I don't know, maybe that's the wave, right? Jigga. Shit, you got niggas to stop kneeling and you got niggas to stop believing these hoes. You are a powerful nigga, man. I can't knock you, bro. I can't knock the hustler, as you would say, right? Fuck with it. I do fuck with it. Okay. So, Yeah, pretty much, it's par for the course. It's nothing that I didn't expect. I predicted all this. I do think the story is not going to have too much legs. I've been doing my digging behind the scenes because, listen, I'm telling you, this shit works like clockwork. After you've been in media for 10 years, you realize how this is going to go down. I'm telling you, and I've been looking for the story that's going to break. They're going to break some crazy story. Okay? It's not going to come from Rock Nation, but it's going to be seeded and come out of left field. It's either coming through CNN. They're really cool with TMZ. Remember when they sued Busby, they hit up TMZ? TMZ might do it, and then everybody else picks up from it. And I think that's how they're going to kind of roll it out. Now, again, that's a classic PR media power move, right? You bury one story with another story. You get what I'm saying? That's just kind of how you do it. So I'm expecting some shit they had in the tuck to come out soon. Never know, man. Might come out with a story like, yeah, we gave Tory Lanez 30 more years. Like, huh? Like, yeah, it's a new ruling. New ruling. Tory's getting 30 more years. Talk about that for a while. That wouldn't do it, though. That wouldn't do it. That has to be big. Has to be big. Somebody got to get killed, unfortunately. Somebody got to die for this, okay? Yeah, somebody got to die for Jay Z to stop being talked about this week, okay? So a death, that would work. Drake, don't post a motherfucking thing. I'm about to hit Drake. Don't post nothing, okay? This is time. Enjoy your 2 days out of getting slandered by the K-bots. Don't post, okay? Just do duck lips all day, all right? No, don't file a lawsuit. Don't do nothing. And Kendrick right now is probably forgetting his next announcement because he don't want to touch this shit neither, okay? So we're going to see who bails out Jigga, man. And I have a few predictions, but I won't put them on record. But there are a couple little stories floating, like, around. Some people are teasing this and third might come out, but I don't think any of those are big enough to get this story out of the way. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm looking for somebody to die. Sorry, I'm sorry. I think we're gonna hear about somebody dying. I think that's the major way how we could change up the subject real quick. Anyway, since the subject ain't changed, I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about today, and hopefully I'll find some entertainment in it. Not gonna lie, man. Jay Z and his team move fast. Alex Spiro, who we all know is Rock Nation's and Jay Z's representation, has filed multiple documents in court today. I mean, shit, Diddy's lawyers didn't even file shit this quick. But obviously, after seeing where Diddy's at, they don't want to be Diddy. So they're being aggressive. They're being forceful. They're speaking and attacking these claims head on. And if anything, what they're doing that Diddy never did is they're daring. They're saying, yo, y'all get money from us. Try to put us in jail. Well, not us, but Jay, right? And what that kind of does is like, shit, that's the ultimate, bluff, right? Like in poker, it's a bluff. Hey, listen. Or it's an attempted bluff, right? But they're really being aggressive. Now, all things aside, and I hope y'all don't think I hate Jay Z, right? I do think Rock Nation be on a lot of fuck shit. I do. But I don't hate Jay Z. Actually, he's one of my favorite musicians. I do think Jay Z's handling this appropriately. I mean, what could you do? Again, we could talk through it, but if you paid a person, first of all, they look at you as a billionaire. They actually, Jay Z's reportedly the richest person in hip hop history. Yes, they even have him over Dr. Dre at this point, right? At least in the last, Forbes estimation and even some other, very reputable brands that does like, these net worths and whatever valuations of these artists. They got him as the richest hip hop artist of all time, right? So, yeah, they're coming for a lot of money, right? And I know y'all might be like, you always hear that thing where people say, yo, yeah, $1,000 or $100,000 is like $1 to Bill Gates. You know what I mean? Because you think about the enormity of their wealth, and then you're like, what's 100,000 to them? Even though 100,000 is a lot to regular people, and I'm going to include myself in there, to us. So you think that, hey, Jay got it, he could pay it, but it's not about just what maybe one person is going to want to demand. It's about the opening of a door that encourages more. Now, we will be talking about possibility of a criminal proceeding here because there's going to be a really interesting angle that I don't think anyone is, everyone in the media that lightly talked about this today, they were all hell bent on just saying, yo, these hoes is lying, man. They just lying. And shit, I ain't saying these hoes ain't lying or not. But if we remember how the Diddy case started, the police in their discovery and in their indictment essentially admitted, yo, we started to investigate after we saw civil suits starting to mount. Now, here's the thing, and this is going to be important because this picture is going to be really important here, chat. Diddy been going through it. Can't get bail. He's charged with RICO for sex trafficking. They look at him as the top of the organization. And I know some of y'all thought this was maybe a cabal or some type of consortium, or this was definitely an effort to try to take down all of the people in the industry. I've told you guys before, just like what happened with Bill Cosby, they're not taking everybody down. There's going to be one sacrificial lamb, and everybody's going to go ghost, get low, wait till it blows over. Doesn't mean he's only guilty one. If he's found guilty, I don't know if he's guilty. But they usually get one person to get the example made out of. By the way, thank you for the gift this up. It appears Diddy would be that person for music. If we're talking about how Diddy could escape this. And I'm wondering, this could go different ways. So I want y'all to follow me on this train of thought.
My biggest concern when I was thinking of getting Botox Cosmetic was
losing my expression. I wanted to stay Javi.
Lawsuit that he's included with Jay. But this might be a Trojan horse for Diddy. Jay is the only person that could possibly give him maybe slight leverage in his criminal case if more lawsuits come out and then for whatever reason the feds say, hey, let's look into Jay a little bit more. What does it open up? It opens up Diddy to be able to say, I know y'all had me at the top of the organization, but this nigga, he one of them too. He a freaky ass nigga. He one of them 69 guys. He right here. Okay? I'll tell on him. Because before, here's the thing. This is just how it normally goes. Everybody under the leader tells on the leader. So the leader don't got nobody to tell on. It's usually like a pyramid. So you don't have other people of your level. And not saying that Jay Z would be involved in this, but Jay is another high profile name that if, who knows, maybe if a couple more sexual assault cases start lingering, maybe pop up, the feds take interest in it. The feds may want to talk to him. Also, here's a thing too that's going to be very interesting about that particular case, right? That case with a 13-year-old, we're going to get to like some of the filings by his lawyer. It's going to be super interesting because it's clear that there's no forensic evidence, I would imagine, that was preserved. I'm pretty sure it would be fucking weird if the 13-year-old panties from that night was kept. That would be fucking weird. So I'm thinking that's not there. And from what we know, that she didn't go to the hospital, right? So no tests, no nothing. This might be a lot of, again, word of mouth. Well, in the allegation, you name a bunch of people. Celebrity B, a driver who drove you there, person at a gas station who you ran down the road to call your dad, and Jay and Diddy. So now, if this does go any far And this gets to start a pattern of people trying to accuse Jay. And let's say the police do try to, look into it. I would imagine, because this case is only valid on word of mouth, they might say to Diddy, hey, we might be able to talk about a deal or something if you're down to rat out your boy, Jigga. Were you there with him in that room? What'd he do? Tell us. Let's help make the case. If you help us make the case on him, instead of looking at life in prison, who knows? 10. Now, this seems really far-fetched at this point. But it does open the possibility, especially since the feds are coming with an indictment that is accusing Rico, that this might help Diddy if it's seen that there are other high-profile moguls that may have been in the same type of behavior or accused of doing some of the same crimes with him. Now, obviously, I don't want to, jump the gun or even assume that Diddy is someone who would tell on somebody to save himself. I mean, he doesn't have a history of having somebody else take the fall and he walks scot-free. That's not his history. We don't know of any circumstances of maybe he was cool in the club and some place got shot up and he was trying to have the driver take the gun. And when it got to trial, he says, fuck it, give it to Shine. Let him go get deported. Let me back out. Hold on. Who knows? He don't got that history. So I think he will keep it solid. Me personally, that's how I think. I don't think he would do no shit like that. But the job of a great attorney, even if you the most solid nigga in the world, is to put on the table what options might exist in how to resolve this matter. Okay? Now, I think Jay Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, he's a pro. He's good. They are dealing with this shit so forceful. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons I believe they're dealing with this so forceful. You got to make sure that all the other little, and I'm sorry for the use of the word, but all the other little bitches who's thinking about it, like, yeah, Jay did fuck me after the girls video, and I don't know if I was all the way down with it. Let me go. You got to get so aggressive with this that they're like, yeah, I don't know about want to file a lawsuit against Jay. I'm good. I'm good. Because what happened with Diddy is that the levers broke pretty quickly. Now, there was no real, like, most of the fear with Diddy in terms of like apprehension of people filing lawsuits against him were mostly based in people thinking this guy could get you killed. Like, he was playing in that world. Like, yo, this guy is dangerous. He would be employing some 90s methods that could fuck you and your family up. And after people realized he was starting to resemble a caged bird, and they weren't scared of maybe him using his resource to try to hurt you or whatever, or intimidate you, everybody just came out. Hey, yo, you fucked me in the ass yesterday. Yeah, like, everybody's coming out. You know what I mean? And we saw mad allegations come out. And obviously, again, there's over 20 at this point. I personally, I don't believe all of them are true, right? But you saw that once the levers broke, everything or everybody is trying to come out. They got a goddamn hotline. So Jay Z is in a very precarious situation, if you ask me. He has to show strength. He has to try to deter anybody else. And the exit from what Sean Combs did that he's doing off bat is essentially saying, number one, I've never settled. Well, actually, he didn't say that. Let me take that back. I'm not settling with you. So publicly, what people are going to know is that I'm not settling, but him saying he's not settling this is sending a message to other people who may have been talking to him in the background or who may plan to bring stuff. So it's one of those things to say, yo, if y'all want to go there with me, we're going all 12 rounds. Okay? All right. What the fuck? Address what? Stop hiding? I think I'm talking about it. Okay, cool. So the filings today in court. Let me tell you, they filed a hundred. Yo, Alex Spiro got no sleep last night. By 9 a.m. this morning, I get an alert. Alex Spiro filed 4 documents in this case. He filed a notice for representation saying, hey, I'm representing Sean Carter. Then he filed a motion to reveal the victim's name. Then he filed a was called a declaration in support of that memorandum, which is a, basically you're just giving reason why that should be, ordered that the person has to give their name. Hundreds of pages, like mad case law attached to it, and we're gonna go through some of it today. Okay. Here we go. Now, also before I get to it, by the way, we're not only doing Jay Z today. We do have and pause on that too. No jiggle, okay? Wait, where's the other shit out? Sorry. Okay, yes. So we do have some stuff. We're not doing too much on Drake, but we do have some stuff on Drake. Pusha T talking about Drake. We're gonna do the United CEO, that killer who got found. So remember that. We're gonna be getting into that as well. But we are gonna go down through a rabbit hole a bit into some of this stuff with Jay Z, and who knows, Again, he maintains his innocence. We believe he's innocent until proven guilty, obviously. But we'll see. Anyway, so here we go. All right. All righty then. So, let me see. Okay. All right. So, one of the filings, and by the way, this mirrors a filing that Diddy's lawyers did in the case versus the woman who we now know is Anna Kane. That is a ex-wife of Edmonton Oilers star Evander Kane. She was forced to identify herself or the lawsuit would be dropped. Okay. So Alexander Kane, wife. This is his wife, and she claims that at 17, Diddy fucked her. Diddy and 2 of his executives or something, right? So it's the same type of filing. And, I kind of generally agree, right? I do agree. So the whole thing about filing as a Jane Doe, it exists to protect potential victims who don't want to be shamed in the process of admitting something that's really embarrassing. Admitting that you were possibly a sexual assault victim, it's embarrassing. And when in court filings, right, civil or criminal, they're all public. When people could read the intimate details of some of the most embarrassing parts of your life, it might kind of deter you from even want to get into to try to get whatever justice, even if it's just monetary, if it's a civil suit, right? So I agree that it should be allowed for some people to file a Jane Doe, or I guess in the guy's case, a John Doe. But I also agree with the stance of Diddy's lawyer and also Jay Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro. you shouldn't be protected if the lawsuit that's filed is being used to smear the other person publicly, right? Once that lawsuit is being dissected by everybody and that person is getting their life torn apart, losing deals left, right, and center, if you're the accuser, I get that it's embarrassing, but the accusation in the world of somebody else who has some type of notoriety is enough to make them seem guilty and ruin their life as well. You should be known. You should be identified. So I agree with this Anna Kane thing. And here's the filings that happened today. So there was a declaration of Alex Spiro. This is the first. This wasn't the first one. Hold on. Is it this? Give me a second. Gotta make sure I got it right here, people. Oh, do I have it? Okay. So here we go. So the defendant, Sean Carter, motioned to deny the plaintiff request to proceed anonymously. This was filed, and all the issues were filed this morning. Okay. So first of all, they have cited. Look how many. When you're doing a filing and you got a table of contents, you'll go to page 15 for this, page 19, page 13. Yeah, they got a whole table of contents for this shit. I'm like, holy. This is how you know that man, Alex Spiro, is worth his weight in gold, because he on his Brian Steele shit. He's going to defend Jigga Man till every drop of blood in his body has evaporated. And you want that type of lawyer, okay? Anyway, let's get to him. Okay. For months, an extortionate campaign has been targeting this named defendant, Jay Z, under the cover of darkness. So basically saying he's been extorted for months. The campaign was cynical and calculated to force payment of an exorbitant sum of money. The campaign was, the defendant would have to pay X millions of dollars, irrespective of the truth, or else. Now, the reason why I believe they have said X million dollars and they didn't put the actual amount is that if there are other cases that come up in the future, right, they don't want to give a price point that people could use to be like, all right, well, if niggas was asking them for 100 million, all right, I think I could just hit them over the head for 5. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to put nothing there, because again, this guy is a billionaire, and there's going to be these people who just want any type of compensation. When defendant refused to pay and instead took measures to establish his innocence, this unnamed plaintiff and her self-promoting counsel, whose name has been splashed across headlines and press conferences under auspices of representing her, went to extraordinary lengths to shut down fair defense. But those efforts too failed. Now at last, the false and founded allegations that underlie this campaign of extortion are having judicial light shined on them. Except that this plaintiff is bringing them as dough. Who would continue to hide under the cover of darkness? Because his tactic is inconsistent with a genuine effort to determine the truth or falsity of these allegations, as opposed to an effort to procure a quick and extortionate settlement, defendant is respectfully seeking either dismissal of the allegations or the disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. Fair is fair. Okay. It is consistent with justice, fairness, or the rules governing federal proceedings for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear defendant's good name in the ways that are calculated to feed media coverage and thus inflict maximum public relation damage, while the core fact of plaintiff identity, revelation of which stands to discredit her entire case, remains wholly hidden from view. Whereas though status is reserved for truly extraordinary cases and predicated upon extraordinary justification, here a multitude of powerful considerations cut precisely the opposite direction, as judges of this court have ruled in cases involving similar circumstances. Defendant Sean Carter, aka Jay Z, has built up an impeccable reputation. Now, by the way, I do want to say this, and I have to be fair. This is highly hypocritical of Jay Z. So Jay Z filed himself a John Doe lawsuit aimed at Tony Busby, saying, I don't want to tell y'all who I am, but I am a high profile guy. And I think this guy's trying to extort me with claiming that I did sexual assault to his clients, right? So Jay Z himself used the anonymous type of lawsuit when attacking the lawyer. And I know one could probably still say, well, they did it first, and because obviously he has a public reputation to defend, he's going to try to do it back in reverse by claiming John Doe. But again, he's coming back around to say no one should be protected unless it's extraordinary circumstances. So it kind of makes you feel like, what made you think you're a public figure, my nigga? Like, what made you think that you should be protected but not her, right? Anyway, it says defendant Sean Carter has built an impeccable reputation. He has never been accused of, let alone engaged in, any sexual misconduct until today, when plaintiff in a amended complaint filed by attorney Anthony Busby has leveled baseless allegations and accused Mr. Carter of despicable acts while hiding behind the pseudonym Jane Doe. These claims are not about justice for the victim, nor are they about giving victims of sexual violence a voice. Instead, they're merely the next chapter in attorney Busby's sprawling extortion saga, a saga whose aim is based in and measured in dollars. Busby has devoted himself to the business of extracting large settlements from celebrities, high net worth individuals, and businesses with public ties to Sean Combs. So here's another angle that's going to be interesting. As part of this lawsuit, and I'm wondering for all the people who do love Jay Z, but you're torn on this, right? You think, my dogs keep barking. Can you hear my dogs barking? Because I might have to put them up. I don't know what the fuck they're barking at. Well, one of them are barking. Could y'all hear it? Because if y'all hear them, they're like bothering me. But it might not bleed through on the mic. Could I hear it? If y'all can't hear it, it's cool. I'm hoping you can. You can't, right? Oh, okay. All right, bet. All right, cool. All right, yeah. All right, so cool. Here's gonna be, and I've seen today on social media, there's so many people trying to they're trying to like slice this really fine line and be like, hey, listen, I know in the past we were all agreeing that this nigga Diddy probably did it, but now you're accusing our GOAT. He wouldn't do some shit like that. Now, most of these people making these accusations or making these claims don't know Jay Z or have never been around him in these intimate personal moments. But I get it. It's your favorite rapper or the guy who you consider the GOAT. You don't want to believe it about him. You probably have less ties or less, cultural equity built up with Sean Diddy Combs. So Diddy, you're like, guilty nigga, fuck this nigga. But Jay Z and some of these people are also parasocial fans. Like some of these people, they're Beyonce fans, and they might not fuck with Jay Z, but they love Beyonce so much they wouldn't ever want to believe that Beyonce's husband has done such heinous things. Because if you think about it, that's what people have gotten at Nicki Minaj about her husband allegedly doing back in the day. So people have different reasons of why they want to believe it, but they're also playing like this interesting game where they're like, no, we did after like the 30th or 25th like allegation against Diddy, people are like, nah, this nigga did that shit, right? So people are kind of like then faced with their own hypocrisy. Well, how do you believe that Diddy did it, but Jay never did it? Okay, here's the thing. In this one instance, in this one allegation, they're both accused of doing the same thing. They're both accused of being in the same room. They're both either it's pretty reasonable to say they're both either guilty in this one case or they're both innocent in this one case. But the people who just only love Jay, they don't want to be sticking up for Diddy. Now, here's the problem. Part of how Jay Z is going to have to defend this case is he kind of got to stick up for Diddy too. And that's going to fuck a lot of people up, right? Like, for example, here you hear him almost making these statements about Diddy, right? And he says, extracting large sums from celebrities, high net worth people, and basically saying with public ties to Diddy. Now, they're going to be trying to play the same game as well, where they're not going to like be picking up for Diddy, but they're going to just kind of try to piggyback off certain things Diddy has alleged. Because remember, Diddy alleged that a few of these people, Tyrone Blackburn, this guy, and there was a female attorney and another guy, that these people are ambulance chasers just looking for people who are down to sue people of high net worth, and they're just trying to get money that way. But a lot of people said, nah, we don't believe that because it's you, Diddy. Well, Jay Z is echoing the same claims. Actually, he's piggybacking off of Diddy's claims. So again, that's going to be the tough thing for a lot of fans to swallow. Pause. No Diddy, no Jigga. You have to, we're at the point where you're going to say, at least for this one case, and they're not accused on every case together, obviously, but you're going to probably have to say, if Diddy did it, Jay did it. Or if Diddy didn't do it, Jay didn't do it. Or if Jay didn't do it, Diddy didn't do it. Okay? Now, let's continue. References to justice or sunlight serve only as window dressing. Make no mistake. This case is about retaliating against the rare target who would not pay. Attorney Busby has a history of targeting celebrities by making false allegations of misconduct. Okay? Now, this is going to be another thing that, again, I'm telling you, chat, for everybody who are on these moral high horses, you're going to have a gut check time with yourself, because a lot of people usually say, and I see this on all the time on Twitter, we believe victims, until they accuse your guy. And they're like, well, hold on, man, these hoes be fucking lying. These fucking lying ass bitches. Where the fuck? Why the fuck these bitches lying on my nigga? We see that a lot. For example, I've seen a lot of people say, hey, look at, by the way, this same attorney represented like a whole bunch of women that accused Deshaun Watson. He's an NFL player. And apparently he settled a good amount of those cases on a civil end. There was a U.S. prosecutor who looked at district attorney who looked at the majority of them and basically cleared them. They said, look, again, this guy, look, Deshaun Watson, grand jury, right? They did 2 grand juries. So many women, right? They did 2 grand juries, both grand juries on multiple charges, right? He faced 22 civil lawsuits. Both grand juries declined to indict him, which basically means declined to do what they did to Diddy to him, right? However, the civil suit still came out. What ended up happening, right? Deshaun Watson settles. And we could probably put Tony Busby's name. Tony Busby. Okay. Confidential settlement reached. This is as late as October. Look.
Well, new at 10 o'clock, we have some new details in the latest civil lawsuit filed against former Texas.
Now, here's the thing. A lot of people believe, even though he wasn't convicted by a grand jury, a lot of people believe the smoke, the fire by smoke mythology of, hey, if 20 people said you did something, nigga, you know you did it, right? So even though a jury of his own peers and a grand jury who literally just need majority to indict says there is no evidence here of this guy doing sexual assault to any of these women, right? The jury, the court of public opinion basically said, bruv, it's 20 women, bro. Okay. And a lot of people advocated for him to lose sponsorships, which he did. A lot of people advocated for him to be almost like an outcast. He still is in the NFL, but his career definitely took a hit, right? So here's the thing. The lawyer who represented a lot of these women is Tony Busby. So this is what I'm saying. It's a very interesting moral thing for a lot of people, because you can't only defend Jay Z, because part of Jay Z's defense is going to be like, yo, he shook down Deshaun Watson as well. Well, you're kind of almost saying that you think them chicks was lying too. So again, I'm just showing you how in defending Jay Z, his lawyer is going to reference other situations that maybe the public have no ties to, so they have no problem saying those men are guilty. But Jay-Z's own lawyer is kind of piggybacking on those cases, saying, look, it's a shakedown there. So again, you get to realize, because this lawyer has attacked other people, and also Jay-Z is now kind of linked with Diddy in this one particular lawsuit, a lot of people are having these moral dilemmas. If this one case, if Jay did it, Diddy did it. If Diddy did it, Jay did it. If Diddy didn't do it, Jay probably didn't do it, right? It's kind of like they're kind of almost tied, right? Anyway, this was the Deshaun Watson thing. Let's here we go.
And current Cleveland's Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. KPRC2's Aaron Wilson reporting that attorney Tony Busby, who represents the Houston-based accuser, and Watson have reached a confidential settlement. KPRC2's Bill Barajas in the newsroom now to break down what we know so far. Bill?
The Houston-based accuser, a woman identified only as Jane Doe, alleged that Watson sexually assaulted her in 2020. She was seeking at least $1 million in damages, and while the lawsuit is set...
Now, granted, okay, so she wanted $1 million. I think in Texas, and I think this was done locally. So she had named an amount. So she wanted $1 million. Who knows? She may have gotten 500,000, right? Or maybe 250,000. Who cares? But you're not asking a billionaire for that, right? Like Jay Z pockets is deep, right? Pause. And you just heard about his co-D, and I'm saying that just as a loose term because they're not co-defendants, but they are co-defendants in this lawsuit, even though civil. Jay-Z, Diddy reportedly paid tens of millions of dollars to Cassie. So you want tens of millions of dollars from Jay-Z too, right? You would imagine, right? So this lawyer got a settlement even though they didn't indict this nigga, which is like, what? But you also got to remember there's some other factors. Deshaun Watson he's in the NFL, and because of him being in the NFL, he has to treat this as, I want this to go away, that I could continue my career, rather than stand on my moral principle, which I think Jay-Z stand on, say, no, you're going to have to fight this in court. Like, I'm not giving you some money. But that same lawyer did it.
She was seeking at least $1 million in damages, and while the lawsuit is settled, the financial details remain undisclosed. The lawsuit states that Watson met the woman at a bar in July of 2020. The two met for the first time when they agreed on a date, and he allegedly came to her apartment.
Again, Tony Busby, the same lawyer, represented this client too.
The lawsuit goes on to say that when Watson arrived, she...
Baby Lane Stanfield, I agree. Diddy fucked up the game by giving that woman $30 million. That made it so lucrative, and the teeth came out of Tony Busby. Like, there are specific lawyers who target rappers, right? Tony Busby, if you look at all of his personal injury claims, he does represent people who are alleged victims of either crimes or victims of just being injured. He doesn't really target. We don't see a history of him targeting rappers, right? That's there's a few of them. There's a few people who do, but those people, because, usually a lot of rappers ain't going to pay you. Like, the Game lost a lawsuit, really by default judgment, but he lost a lawsuit, and the nigga would rather transfer all his assets to WAC 100 name rather than pay the chick. He ain't giving the money up. So, because of those type of things, it's cleaner to go at athletes, because you could use a situation like this to have them suspended indefinitely. And that's going to, force the hand for them to get the money, right? In rap, if it's some random rapper who got sued, who gives a fuck, right? Now, I'm pretty sure, say, Kodak Black did a plea and he did some stuff, whatever. Who knows if Kodak Black paid the chick or what he paid the chick, right? Because we care more about the criminal shit, right? Like, if there's a civil suit, now we're caring a lot about civil suits, but before it was just is a nigga going to jail or not, man, right? But after Diddy paid that $30 million, the sharks came. Everybody's like, oh shit. Well, I forgot there's a couple billionaires over here, big ballers. Oh, hold up now. Hold up. Wait, hey. Here's the hotline. Y'all been touched by a rapper, fucked by a rapper, train ran on you by a rapper. What the rapper done did to you? I got you. So that's what happened. That's why Tony Busby's in hip hop now. And by the way, I don't think he go nowhere.
Apartment. The lawsuit goes on to say that when Watson arrived, she asked him to have a seat in her living room while she finished putting on her makeup. But when she walked out, she found him naked on her bed, lying face down. The lawsuit accuses Watson of aggressively insisting she massage him on his backside. She allegedly only rubbed his back, and that's when the lawsuit says Watson became frustrated and turned over and demanded she massage him from his knees to his groin. Court documents say Jane Doe froze in fear and Watson grabbed her and raped her. Eventually, court records say she was able to get away and grab a heavy piece of decor to defend herself, causing Watson to leave. Watson had previously been accused in nearly 24 lawsuits filed with massage therapists of harassing, assaulting, or touching them during appointments when he played for the Houston Texans. This most recent accuser is the first woman to accuse Watson of rape, while the other lawsuits, the majority of them anyways, alleged various types of sexual misconduct. In the newsroom, this client...
Oh, here we go. Are they going to mention Busby? That's what I played it for.
Alleged various types of sexual misconduct. Watson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, saying since the beginning that his client...
Oh, sorry. Here we go. Default view. Huh?
And Star QB denies the allegations. In the newsroom, Bill Barajas, KP.
Okay, anyway, they don't really mention Tony Busby, but you see it here. Tony Busby, the attorney, did announce that they reached a confidential settlement. So, hey, she wanted $1 million. Listen, 250 or something. I don't know, right? I don't know. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. You're gonna see Jay kind of almost hint to it or quote that, this is what this guy does, even though he's probably gonna make no assertion that Diddy is completely innocent of everything being accused, or that Deshaun Watson is either. But he's gonna use these cases to say this nigga has been shaking people down. Okay. So he has a history of targeting celebrities by making false allegations of misconduct, and Mr. Carter sought to expose Mr. Busby's latest extortion scheme in a California lawsuit on November 18, 2024. So finally we get, you can't see it. Finally we get Jay Z admitting, we did sue him on November 18th, and yes, he sued him as John Doe. So yes, he sued the lawyer, okay? After receiving a letter from Mr. Busby. Now, they don't say when the letter was received, okay? Even though they said it was received months ago. Remember, it was received months ago because it said, if we go back up, it says it's at 4 months, right? 4 months, okay? Anyway, so let's keep it going. Exhibit 1, this is the extortion complaint. So they actually list the extortion complaint. And so at the time, Attorney Busby knew who Mr. Carter was, even as Mr. Carter remained in the dark, as he does today about the identity of Mr. Busby's client. Plaintiff and Attorney Busby now brings these claims against Mr. Carter in a clear act of retaliation. Okay, the complaint, as the complaint admits on his face, while Mr. Carter was being extorted, he could not speak out without revealing his identity and the heinous allegations made against him, which are patently false. That would be playing into Attorney Busby's game and the leverage he was wielding. So they're basically saying they were playing chess with him. This upshot would be highly sensational and equally false. Allegations being broadcasted across social media and the press, thereby maximizing the pressure exerted against extortion targets to satisfy his monetary gains, irrespective of the truth, because Mr. Carter has called upon the courts rather than paying, he is now being sued. So be it. One way or another, Mr. Carter is entitled and positioned to exonerate himself through the legal process. In this case, he will vigorously defend himself and expose the truth, that the allegation and the complaint are false. But disclosure of the plaintiff's identity is among the most essential basic tools that can and should enable Mr. Carter to vindicate himself. Mr. Carter. Hey, Mr. Carter, tell me who you They've been asking, they've been wondering, they've been Hey, oh man, I like that song. I gotta play it. Mr. Carter should not have to defend himself in the brightest of spotlights against an accuser who hides in complete darkness, while leveling allegations that describe the purported acts occurring in the plain sight of witnesses who could refute the plaintiff's claims if only her identity was revealed. Now, That's a little bit interesting as well, right? This is going to be interesting, this claim right here, chat. So what Jay Z is saying is that, yo, if you tell me who this hoe is, I'm going to tell you exactly why this motherfucking hoe is lying on me. Here's the thing. So I seen this come out. Let me see if I can find it. Do I have it somewhere? You know, I think, I don't even think this is Rot Nation. I think this is fans of Jay Z. This is fans of Jay Z. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Jay Z. Hold on. Okay. So this has been floating around today. And it's been floating around on Twitter. It says this is a picture that shows Jay Z was at the MTV Music Awards after party at the Lotus nightclub on September 7th, 2000. Why is the plaintiff saying that the after party was in a house? Okay. And if it's posted on a page called Ain't No Jigga, it says Jay Z photographed arriving at the MTV Video Music Awards after party at the Lotus nightclub in downtown Manhattan on September 7th, 2000. Okay. The award show was held at Radio Music City, whatever. Now, here's the thing about this. And this is why I said that this is an interesting line by his lawyer saying, if we know her identity, it's going to help us easily prove it's a lie. Well, if this that's coming out on social media is true, you don't need to know the identity. You could just say, I never went to a party that was at, as she describes, a big white house with a U-shaped driveway. I didn't go there. I did go to the MTV Music Awards, which anybody could Google. I then went to a party, and I was at the party for the rest of the night, and then I went back to my hotel. Dismiss this claim now, okay? Or show some type of proof that I was actually at the place that this alleged assault happened. But they're not saying that yet. They don't actually make that claim, right? The only claim they said is just tell us who the girl is, right? Now, if this was true, and this is probably true in the sense of he probably was there. Let me see. Lotus. I got to Google this place. Lotus nightclub. Okay, cool. Let's say he's there. It doesn't mean like, I thought these niggas, they had lyrics like after the show, it's the after party, and after the party, it's a hotel lobby, and after the probably this, and fiesta. No, I'm playing. I'm just trying to tell you. Like, hey, we don't know because these niggas historically rapped about and celebrated going to party after party after party after party after the hotel lobby, and that other party is maybe the freak off. We don't know. I'm just being honest with y'all, chat, right? So again, I know some people are posting this to say it vindicates Jay, but number one, if it actually did, his lawyer would claim it. Hey, he did nothing but go to this one after party where he's photoed at, which basically is not the venue that this woman is claiming this happened. She's clearly lying. Dismiss it now. But maybe, who knows what he got into, right? After maybe this event. Okay. So that was interesting to me. Okay, that was interesting to me. It says in the American judicial system, lawsuits are public by their nature and their design. It's public. The public is meant to know the facts involved and the identity of the parties. Indeed, federal law requires all parties litigate using their true names. Parties are exempted from this mandate only in exceptional cases where, for instance, allowing the party to proceed anonymous will protect him or her from future violence or from physical violence, which, by the way, I would imagine, Tony Busby is going to claim, even if it's not with Jay Z, they're going to bring in Diddy's lawsuit. And this is how Diddy hurts Jay. Yo, why would we want to name our client when Diddy is being held captive right now in a federal jail with the judge in that case, the district court judge, agreeing, hey, this guy is prone to violence. We think he might intimidate witness. He might threaten people. And because of that Cassie video, he might hurt somebody who might want to make an accusation about him. So if they can accuse Jay Z of violence, right? Or being violent against possible people who would be victims, they're definitely going to use the code E, which is Diddy. So this is how Diddy actually hurts Jay, because she might not be, ordered to reveal herself because of the fact of Diddy's violence that's in a current criminal case. Now, keep in mind, Diddy already beat one of those. So Diddy had another person identify themselves. What's her name? E. Kane, whatever her name is, the NFL star's ex-wife. So if they use the same method and just kind of show that other courts have agreed or other judges have agreed, they probably won't look at Diddy's violence to not let this go. But I don't think there's anything in Jay-Z's history that would show that he's been super violent towards women, or he would be threatening or preventing them from either continuing with the case or making a report. So this probably will go through. And I'm saying that as I'm reading, but we'll get to obviously the end. And then obviously the Tony Busby is going to have to file his own opposition to this motion, right? Okay. So it says here, the plaintiff has chosen to sue Mr. Carter anonymously using pseudonym Jane Doe, yet has not alleged any facts that would allow her to sidestep the federal mandate requiring that all parties must litigate using their true names. Indeed, plaintiff's allegations exhibit none of the special circumstances necessary to allow her to litigate anonymously. To the contrary, her facially incredible allegations indicate that, unlike in many cases of alleged sexual misconduct, she has already been exposed in plain sight to countless of witnesses whose truthful accounts would be helpful and properly informed by the specification of her identity. She claimed that this happened at a party. She ran to the party with her clothes as like a towel. People saw her. And they could say, hey, to find out the truth, we might have to identify this person to let people know what it is, right? Cool. So here we go. It says, notably, she has not claimed severe harassment, threats of violence, or any ongoing interaction with Mr. Carter beyond communication through her attorneys. Nor has the plaintiff even submitted an affidavit alleging these type of special circumstances. Instead, she relies solely on a self-serving declaration from Attorney Busby. Attorney Busby's affidavit does not indicate how an attorney from Texas is competent to testify to the mental state of a plaintiff, let alone how he has personal knowledge of what happened to her in New York to supposedly cause that mental state. The declaration does little more than parrot Busby's own motivation and a legal standard. That is, it doesn't provide any actual facts indicating that plaintiff is in need of extraordinary protection. Suffice it is to say that attorney proffered innuendo and generic accusation do not suffice to justify why Mr. Carter and the American public should be denied access to the plaintiff's identity in this highly public litigation. If anything, this case presents an extraordinary need to follow the ordinary rules of litigation and have both parties proceed on their actual name. Attorney Busby has for months taken to traditional and social media to describe how he planned to target celebrities in connection with these allegations. And he has now issued multiple social media posts about his action. Traditional media sources have somehow been reporting, with Busby's express endorsement on social media, that Mr. Carter is the target of his allegations. Thus, the plaintiff, through her counsel, has acted quite unlike a party who wants to minimize public attention. Instead, he's attempted to leverage public scrutiny to taint the potential jury pool. That's something Diddy claimed too, but he claimed that the feds were doing it. And put pressure on Mr. Carter to settle this meritless case. In those circumstances, it would be extraordinarily unfair if the plaintiff could continue to hide behind the shield or beyond the shield of anonymity while leveraging public interest in this case strategically to pressure the defendant. Furthermore, these allegations, all right, this is a whole lot of legal jargon, I feel like. Moreover, the amended complaint itself makes clear what this is all about. Not justice, but a quick, large settlement against a celebrity. The amended complaint on his face alleges that Busby chose to sue Mr. Carter because he fought back against Busby's extortionate tactics. He subsequently tweeted Mr. Carter's conduct in defending himself has had the opposite impact because Busby's own words. Plaintiff is emboldened. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Let's see if we can find anything that's juicy in here. In at least 2 cases already filed by Buzz. Okay, they're using Diddy's cases again. These ones don't include Jay Z. In at least 2 cases filed by Busby with this declaration, other courts in this district have already denied his baseless motions to proceed anonymously because the failure to meet the burden to show each plaintiff was entitled to the exceptional remedy of anonymity. So they're using Diddy as a piggyback because all those cases are Diddy. Those cases concerned Combs, who is under indictment and detained following a raft of criminal and civil allegations against him. But plaintiff has now sought to sully the reputation of Mr. Carter, who has never been accused of misconduct in his 37 adult years. Plaintiff has not come close to meeting her burden here and the balance of equities that she litigate under her true name. You know how this is going to be interesting. Remember, I was telling you, I said, let's say the feds start investigating this and they go sit down with Diddy and say, Diddy, could you give us Sean Carter? Could you give us Jay Z? Have you been in situations with him having sex with women? And could you give us anything that he may have done? We might be able to cut you a deal. Here's also another interesting part, because I know some of you like Diddy and Jay, I don't know if their interests are aligned anymore. The lawyer who filed this, Alex Spiro, was also hired by Tupac's estate to investigate Diddy while Diddy's locked up. So I would imagine that Diddy looked at that to say, why Jay-Z lawyer helping Tupac's estate try to investigate me for more crimes? Nigga, I'm locked up. What the fuck? Yo, Jay, we used to fuck hoes together. What the fuck? What the fuck you doing, bro? I would imagine that might be a thing. And if you don't believe me, let's look at this. Tupac estate hire Alex Spiro. Look, Tupac Shakur family hires powerhouse attorney to investigate Sean Combs, right? Look, the family of Tupac hired powerhouse lawyer Alex Spiro. Well, that's interesting. Don't that seem weird? Why would Jay-Z's lawyer want to go investigate Diddy? That seemed like backdoor tactics, right? So they were investigating. So this lawyer who works primarily, not primarily, but a lot for Jay-Z, then took a job for Tupac's estate to investigate Diddy, and then now is defending Jay, but using some of what Diddy has claimed versus some of the victims. This is getting messy. You don't see messy to y'all? Because if I was Jay-Z, if I was Diddy, I would think that Jay was trying to backdoor me. Your lawyer shouldn't be taking no jobs. That could be helping someone to fuck me over. And if they do, I now got to think that you're trying to fuck me over, or you're trying to distance yourself from me, which again, if you now become caught up in some type of, rabbit trap, and I get a chance to bring you up in this goddamn cell with me, man, fuck all that shit. I keep saying, listen, there ain't no honor among thieves. And I'm not saying both these guys are thieves, but that's an analogy. Hey, shit, we was cool until we wasn't. So I don't know what Diddy's, I don't know what Diddy's feelings are towards everything, because Jay-Z's lawyer was investigating him. Right? Like right now, you don't want your man's lawyer to go help somebody put possibly a murder for hire charge on you. Right? Because that's what that investigation would have been, right? That investigation, look, Tupac's family hired attorney Alex Spiro, who we know is Jay-Z's lawyer, to find Diddy murder link. I would have used one of the inmates phone calls and say, "Yo, call that nigga Jay-Z. Yo, Jay-Z, what the fuck is you doing, nigga? Why your lawyer told me they represent Tupac estate? Investigate me. Gang, you know what shit we done did? Anyway, so that's interesting. I'm just putting that out there. But also, and I'm trying to like just analyze all these information I've consumed today. They said if we go back, they said this is another alibi Jay Z has. They say Jay Z, on Rivera. So apparently Jay Z, we've heard about him rap about this. He stabbed on Rivera, or there was an incident where on Rivera got stabbed, and Jay Z had gotten arrested, and Jay Z was then Jay Z mugshot. Let's see if we can find it. Is this it? This might be it. Let's do mugshot on Rivera. I think this is it. Yeah. So this was his mugshot, and this was in 1999. So apparently he gets locked up. He goes through a case, but he's on bail. He's on bail, and it says 23 years today. Jay-Z was arrested for the stabbing of Lance Rivera at the Kit Kat Club after rumors surfaced that unbootlegged Jay-Z's 1999 album. Now, we could look at when, so he had bonded out. Let's see if we could go through that case. So supposedly what some people who are defending Jay-Z saying, yo, Jay-Z was on house arrest. Or not house arrest, he was on a bond. And him being on that bond, his whereabouts were communicated, and he was making sure wherever the fuck he was at, especially after a public outing like the award show, he wasn't doing no like mansion party. We don't know, but I'm trying to see if this timeline links up, right? Let's kind of Google that. Jay-Z stabbing on Rivera. Let's see. A lot of people thought it was over Charlie Baltimore, right?
This video has been
front covers of your favorite
Here we go.
OJ on Lance and the Club. Now, the official story is that Lance's husband, what's his name? And also, for the record, that's the Kit Kat Club spelled with 3 Ks for some reason.
KKK? That's not good.
Anywho, apparently, Q-Tip's album release party was a star-studded affair. Even Diddy.
This is 99.
And bear in mind, this is only weeks before Diddy.
Ooh. Oh, so this was 1999. Now, here's the thing. I think over time, if you're younger, you know, like I wasn't like tuned in at this time, right? I mean, this is 99. But it appears that maybe not they were rolling together, but Jay and Diddy definitely were around these events that they bumped into each other a lot, right? Like I think as time went by, we only saw them at we only saw them at brunches together, but they don't look like they rolled together like let's say after 2012 or so. But looked like early on, Jay and Diddy was in a lot of places together.
Release party was a star-studded affair. Even Diddy was there. And bear in mind, this is only weeks before Diddy would upstage Jay-Z's act of violence by getting all tax tone in the club with Sean. Anywho, when Jay-Z arrived to the KKK Club, he ran into a record executive named Lance Rivera. He was a budding industry mogul who had made his name after meeting Biggie Smalls in 1994 and offered to bankroll Big's early career. He then went on to run his own record label that was even involved in the release of some of the music of the notorious B.I.G.'s proteges like Lil C's, and was personally responsible for producing hits from the likes of Cameron and Junior Mafia. Now, there are actually 2 competing narratives as to why Jay-Z decided to get all OJ on Lance and the Club. Now, the official story is that Lance apparently was somehow involved in the bootlegging of Jay-Z's Volume 3 album. But alternative simp-based theories have been put forward, suggesting that this beef was actually all over a chick, specifically Charlie Baltimore, who some may know at one point was a love interest of the notorious B.I.G., and she'd signed to Lance's record label, which Biggie himself had played a role in starting up. And the source for this narrative that the beef was over Charlie Baltimore actually stemmed from pink-coated rapper Cameron himself, who referenced it on the song You Gotta Love It in 2006, and again in an interview with DJ Who Kid in 2016.
Jay liked Charlie at one time, you know what I'm saying? And that was a big girl, you know what I'm saying? And then unfelt that I was just feeling that was the artist and Jay was teaching her the business. It was just it was all under Jay shit. They could say a song leaked or whatever, but it was over Charlie Baltimore.
So according to that story, Jay had been trying to shoot his shot with Charlie, and Lance had felt this was disrespectful because she used to be Biggie's girl and also she was on his label. But for the record, this narrative has kind of been meekly denied by Charlie herself.
They say Jay Z stabbed Pun because of you.
Oh my God.
Did you hear that one?
I've heard it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I don't know what niggas stab niggas over. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
And in my honest opinion, there is probably an element of truth to this narrative that's maybe been blown out of proportion or misinterpreted over the years. So most likely, there's probably a handful of different personal gripes that maybe...
Okay, who cares why he stabbed? Okay, he stabbed the guy, right?
Shot at Charlie Baltimore. Apparently after this initial confrontation, Jay actually backed down and returned to his crew in the club in disbelief. Now it's unclear exactly what the next move was. Maybe Jay's goons gassed him up to go back over there and settle things, or maybe he just popped over to the buffet section to grab himself a sturdy steak knife. But reports say that not long after this initial confrontation, Jay's crew caused a big commotion in the club, which Jay used as a cover to smash a champagne bottle over Lance's brother's head and stab Riviera himself in the abdomen and shoulder with a 5-inch blade. Though it's worth mentioning that some other news outlets reported that it was a slash to the abdomen and multiple stabs in the back. But hey, whatever way you look at it, Jay Z is really out here scoring on his ops like he's trying to win the golden boot. Shit, I wouldn't be surprised to find out if he joined OFB at this rate. But once again, it's worth bringing up for the record that Nas actually said on the Jay Z diss track Ether that it wasn't Jay, but one of his goons that had actually done the stabbing, suggesting that Jay only wanted to take credit for it to supplement his street credentials. But once again, this allegation by Nas has never been corroborated by anyone else, so I think it's safe to assume that Jay-Z's knife work is indeed cray and that he did the drilling himself. Anywho, Lance took that ching in like a champ and was immediately rushed to hospital, where legend has it, he cooperated and even gave Jay's name, which to me is likely proof that Nas's suggestion on Ether was complete cap. So Lance was rushed to the hospital, and after that point was scored, Jay Z and his boys dashed out of the club and laid low for a hot minute. But of course, it wouldn't take long for Jay to eventually face the consequences of swinging that sword like some sort of Marcy Project Zelda.
Okay, good. So we're gonna get a timeline of this. Remember, where we're at with the timeline of this lawsuit. And again, we're just kind of almost damn near investigating ourselves, because this went down in November 2000, right? I think that's when the VMAs were. So he caught this charge in 99. Let's see if he was on any type of monitoring or bond or whatever. Let's figure it out.
Jay-Z later described this incident as feeling like he was in a blind rage and didn't even realize what he was doing at the time. But then again, maybe that had something to do with the finger he had in his butt at that time.
Cops say the hip-hop star was fingered in a stabbing inside a packed nightclub.
The following evening, Jay-Z surrendered to the police and was placed under house arrest. Explosive news that the media at the time were eager to...
Oh, so he was on house arrest. Okay, that's interesting.
Gobble up.
A few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested.
Oh, and let me see. I'm looking at the MTV. Yeah, so it's September 7th. Never mind. It was September. Oh, wait, hold on. I just want to make sure. Oh, the date. Yeah, the date's September 7th, because I don't know if they taped it. These days, sometimes they'll tape it. Like BT Hip Hop Awards is taped like a week or two before. But MTV VMAs, they still do it. They probably do tape delay, but you still come on the same day. So September 7th. So we got to see, where was he at with this case? September 7th, 2000.
Sean Carter, better known as Jay Z, the rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night.
Jay Z brought in the expert legal help of Harvey Slovis, who had also represented Diddy, who quickly got in front of the press to evasively say that Jay had nothing to do with this.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
And then even going as far as to later tell the press that Jay Z was cooperating with the police fully. Wait a minute. Jay Z cooperating? I thought made men weren't supposed to make statements, Jay. Jay Z out here cooperating, he might as well change his name to Takeshi Carter. Now, initially, rumors were floating around that Jay Z had actually been hiding from the cops, reports that were disputed by his team.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen.
And after turning himself in, he was quickly released on a $50,000 bail. And then over a month later, in late January 2000, Jay Jay is indicted in a Manhattan criminal court, where he initially pleads not guilty. A bold move considering the fact that had he been found guilty on felony assault at trial, he could have been facing 15 years. Which is tough, but at least he'd have got out just in time for Solange to still put the beats on him. And it seemed like from here, Jay really beefed up his legal team, which was later expanded to include super defender Benjamin Brafman of Diddy, Martin Shkreli, and Harvey Weinstein fame. And from there, this dream team surely got to work, publicly capping, saying that they had witnesses and videotapes that proved Jay Z was nowhere near Lance at the time of the incident. But on the other hand, it probably didn't help the defense that following Jay Z's arrest, Lance Riviera had filed a civil suit against him. But in a major legal finesse, Lance didn't end up going through with that suit, because according to the Associated Press, Jay Z actually settled with Lance out of court for a figure reportedly between $500,000 and $1 million.
Wow.
Hell, 500 racks to hold one chefing? Get Rock Nation on the phone. I'll take one right here, right here. As the details continued to come out, it was pretty clear that this was half payout and half hush money, with E! News reporting at the time that following this payout, Lance informed prosecutors that he would not be appearing at the trial. And so with this giant finesse in the rear view, it seemed for a moment like Jay Z was actually going to go to trial with the prosecution's key witness and victim missing, leaving him likely to beat that case harder than I beat my meat in quarantine, baby. Hey, and if the guilty until proven innocent video is anything to go by, R. Kelly probably gave him some advice on how to beat that case on set. You should just say it wasn't you. Just say it wasn't you. Although initially it seemed like Jay Z was lacing up the gloves to fight this case, he ended up having a last-minute change in perspective. It seemed like, having seen P. Diddy's gun charge play out so publicly, even with some of the same legal team Jay had, Jay was spooked that the prosecutors might be out for his blood after Diddy